Another welcome to another enlightening session of daily wisdom from Bhagavad Gita. I think we are waiting for people to join in. There's 3 more minutes, I guess.
Yes, we have 180 more seconds to go.
Yes.
And thank you, Vijayji, for the wonderful session. Dhanyavadaha.
Dhanyavadaha.
Sandhya, you can add Dhanyavadaha, Punah Milamaha, Namo Namaha.
Punah Milamaha. Milamaha, Namo Namaha.
Yeah. Punah
Yes.
Milamaha, Namo Namaha.
But today's topic for Bhagavad Gita is quite exciting. I mean, this charity, science of charity.
Yes.
I'm quite curious.
Yeah, took me a while to crack this code. And in India, Swamiji was having his sadhana shivir, and he brought down this concept. Towards the end, he has actually thrown a big fundraiser our way. So I thought, let's talk about charity, because if we were to wait for next 5 years before we get to chapter 17 and 18, it will be too late. So I want people to understand the science and aware of it sooner than later.
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah, so that was the idea. I think it's interesting. It's a very important topic, and we will cover the different aspects of it from all the angles and challenge some of the stereotypes in our mind around it as well. So, right, including the movie, oh my God. Okay, so we'll get to it. I think it will require 2 or 3 different sessions for it, but at least we'll get started today.
Yeah.
If any one of you is new, you can please
introduce
feel free to
yourself.
introduce yourself and come on screen, and we can definitely talk.
Yeah, and please turn on your videos. Like, as I said, today's topic is very exciting. And if we can see each one of us, the excitement will be shared. So, yeah.
Yeah.
I think Shyamji wants to say something. Radhe Radhe, Shyamji.
Shyamji is going to say the same thing in a different way. Yes, Shyamji, go ahead. Turn on your videos.
What to say now? You already unfolded the suspense. Radhe Radhe. Radhe Radhe. You always, sorry. You always say to new participants, what will people like us who are old enough or young enough who are trying to gather knowledge with you for last some time, and you always
No, please go ahead. You have the right of
encourage.
first.
How do you encourage us to put on the cameras and share our details or our experiences with you?
Please go ahead, Shyamji. You're always welcome. Okay, that you don't even have to ask. Actually, just announce and get started.
Thank you so much for the privilege. Radhe, Radhe.
Always a pleasure to see you.
Radhe Radhe.
See, Shyamji, you're turning on the camera, and your smile is infectious. So many people have caught up into it, and they've started turning on their cameras. Look at Sandhya and Rahul, and a couple of other people will be coming in shortly, and they'll be turning on their cameras as well. So that always helps.
That's true. I guess, yeah, once again, good morning, good evening, everyone. Radhe Radhe. Welcome to another enlightening session of Daily Wisdom from Bhagavad Gita. Today, we are going to discuss about science of charity. And I request you all to turn on your videos.
I hope that.
Sorry? Yeah. Okay. Hand over to Nitinji. Radhe Radhe, Nitinji.
Radhe Radhe. So a very warm welcome. Good morning, good evening to all of you. Hope you had a great weekend and a great start to a new week. 2 days break seems like a long break, but it's needed actually, so that I can come in front of you well prepared and not half baked. But yeah, it's always glad to be back on Mondays. So let's get started. I'm going to pull up my screen, and we are going to talk about a very important topic today. It is a very important topic. Every topic is an important, but this is also a very important topic. And Swamiji has been talking about this concept. I thought today's let's pick up on this topic. It's a very good topic to know about, to discuss, to get our doubts clarified, and have this concept pakka in our head, what it actually means, without any gray areas, without any ambiguities, and approach it confidently with the proper knowledge. Like it is said, we do things. That's one one thing. But when we do things and the why aspect of it is clear, then it makes a lot of difference. So that why aspect has to be really, really rock solid around it. So we will spend about 2 to 3 days to discuss this topic. We'll see how far we go today. So let's get started with our opening prayers and we will get underway. I'm going to share my screen and we'll get started. Can you believe I've forgotten which one was I supposed to open? Okay, all right, it's the right one. Okay, we'll get started with our opening prayers. Gurur Brahma, Gurur Vishnu, Guru Devo Maheshwaraha, Guru Sakshat Parabrahma, Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Vasudeva Sutam Devam Kamsa Chanuramardanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum. All right, Radhe Radhe. Good morning, good evening once again. So today we are going to I have picked up shlokas related to charity. What is this charity? What is the science behind this charity? What are some of the deeper aspects of charity? Now, technically, we are on 4.11 right now. Due to pick 4.12, initial plan was to pick up Chaturvar, those four, the caste system aspect of it. But then we had a beautiful sadhana shivir from Swamiji, and I thought this would be a good topic to pick up because of the seva that he's provided to all of us. I said, okay, let's revisit the concept of charity so that it makes sense to all of us. And this concept comes pretty late in Bhagavad Gita. So if we were to wait as per our normal speed, it would have taken us another 5 years to get to that concept, and would have taken long. So I said, okay, let's bring it. If it's a key concept sooner, and then anyway we're going to revisit it from time to time. So let's get started. I have picked up 2 shlokas today. So we'll have double shlokas actually. So if you don't get a chance in the first one, you get a chance in the second one. So I picked one from 18th chapter and then I picked one from 17th chapter. So let me get started with the one which is in 18th chapter, and then we'll pick up the next shloka. So I'm going to recite it and then you are welcome to follow it. Yagyadana tapah karma na tyajyam karyameva tat yagyo danam tapaschaiva pavanani manishina. All right, let's take a few participants. Like I said, I picked up 2 shlokas today. So if you don't get a chance, don't get disheartened. We still have one more shloka to go.
Ashutosh ji, Radhe Radhe.
Radhe Radhe Ashutosh ji.
यज्ञ दान तपः कर्म न त्याज्यं कार्यमेव तत् यज्ञो दानं तपश्चैव पावनानि मनीषिणाम्.
Wonderful, very nice, Ashutosh ji.
Rupa ji, Radhe Radhe.
Radhe Radhe everyone.
Radhe Radhe Rupa ji.
Yajna dana tapa karma na tyajyam karyameva tat yajno danam tapashaiva pavanani manishinam.
Radhe Radhe Rupa ji, very nice. All right, we can take maybe 2 more and then the 2 more in the next one.
Surinder ji, Radhe Radhe.
Radhe Radhe Surinder ji. Radhe Radhe Prabhu.
Surinder ji, Radhe Radhe.
Prabhu. Yagya dana tapakrama natyajyam karmameva tata yagyo danam tapascheva pavanani manishinam.
Very nice, Surinder ji. Radhe Radhe. Okay, we can take one more and then we'll take the next shloka.
Rahul ji, Radhe Radhe.
Radhe Radhe Rahul.
Radhe Radhe. Yagyadan tapah karma na tyajyam karmev tat yagyo danam tapasyev pavanani manishinam. Radhe Radhe.
Very nice, Rahul. Okay, so we'll move on to the next shloka and then we'll go to the quick meaning and then rest of you get an opportunity to recite the other one. So the short translation for this shloka goes like: actions based upon sacrifice, charity, and penance. They should never be abandoned. They must certainly be performed. Indeed, acts of sacrifice, charity, and penance are purifying even for those who are wise. So if you're wondering how did we land up in 18.5, the reason we landed up in, it's a shloka that comes pretty late in the game, including 17th chapter shlokas that we are going to discuss related to charity. And this is a concept, very important concept. It's not like towards the end of Bhagavad Gita we understand about it. So I thought we will bring it sooner, more so because Swamiji spoke about it in his Sadhana Shiva. So I thought, okay, let's revise this concept. It's always good to have a good foundation as we progress spiritually and not leave it too late to, especially if the concept is very important to understand. So I picked up 2 shlokas today. We have 3 more which we will cover during the course of this discussion on charity, the concept of charity itself. Today we will discuss 2 and we'll see how far we can go. Let's move on to the next one. This is 17.20. So this shloka is from 17th chapter. The previous shloka was from 18th chapter. So these are the 2 we will pick up. Now this shloka talks about, if you look at it, there are 3 things that God is talking about, that they have to be done regardless. Even if you are wise, never leave these 3 activities. The first one is the sacrifice, willingness to perform austerities, not just bhog for yourself. Second is charity, and that charity is what we are going to talk about. And third is penance. These should never be abandoned. Very clearly, Lord Krishna is talking about these 3 concepts. And charity is what we are going to focus on today. And this shloka talks about the charity done in the mode of goodness. So let's start with this shloka, and then for those of you who didn't get a chance, you can recite this shloka. Datavyamiti yadyanam diyate nupakarine deshe kale cha patre cha taddanam satvikam smritam. All right.
Shri Priya ji, Radhe Radhe.
Shri Priya ji, please go ahead.
Radhe Radhe. Dhatavyam iti yadanam diyate nupakarine deshe kale cha patre cha taddanam satvikam smritam. Radhe Radhe.
Very nice. Thank you. All right.
Pragi ji, Radhe Radhe.
Radhe Radhe Pragi ji.
Yeah, Radhe Radhe. Sorry. Datevam iti yadyanam diyete nupkarine deshe kale cha patre cha taddanam satvikam smritaham.
Wonderful. Very nice, Pragi ji. All right. Let's speak.
Can I also? Or
Yeah, sure. You have the right and the privilege, Sandhya. So go ahead.
all right. Radhe Radhe. Datavyamiti yadyanam diyate. Sorry. Datavyamiti yadyanam diyate nupakarine deshe kale cha patre cha Tadhyanam Satvikam Smritam.
Wonderful, Sandhya. Very nice.
Yeah.
You're on mute. You have to unmute yourself.
Yeah, Pragi ji, Radhe Radhe.
Pragi ji
Yeah.
has already done. Oh, not yet.
Oh, she's done. Sorry. Shrivatsan ji, Radhe Radhe.
Shivatsan, good to see you after long.
Radhe Radhe.
You recite so beautifully, you can't imagine. Just go ahead, Shivatsan.
दातव्यम् इति यद्दानं दीयते नुपकारिणे देशे काले च पात्रे च तद्दानं सात्विकं स्मृतम्.
Wonderful. It's always a pleasure to hear from you, Shivatsan. Beautiful. Okay, we can pick up maybe 3 more and then we'll get started.
Sumesh ji, Radhe Radhe.
Radhe Radhe, Sumesh ji. We can take 4 more.
Miti yaddanam diyate nupakarine deshe kale cha patre cha taddanam satvikam smritam.
Wonderful, Sumesh. We'll pick all of you. Okay, so let's quickly do that. Lakshmi ji, Sham, everybody.
Lakshmi ji, Radhe Radhe.
Yeah, Radhe Radhe everyone. Datavyam iti yadhanam diyate nupakarine deshe kale cha patre cha taddanam satvikam smritam.
Wonderful. I think we have 3 more hands. We'll pick all. We are in a very charitable mood today, so please go ahead. All of you, we can pick up everybody today.
Yeah, Preeti ji, Radhe Radhe.
Yeah.
Preeti ji.
Radhe Radhe everyone. Tatavyam iti yattanam diyate nupakarine deshe kale cha patre cha tattanam satvikam smritam. Radhe Radhe.
If Srivatsan ji and Preeti ji were running for an Olympics, it would have been a photo finish for the gold medal. So very nice. Beautiful.
Shyam ji, Radhe Radhe.
Radhe Radhe, Shyam ji.
Radhe Radhe. Datavyam iti yaddanam diyate anupakarine deshe kale cha patre cha taddanam satvikam smritam. Radhe
Wonderful.
Radhe.
Ji, Radhe Radhe. All right, last one and then we'll get started.
Yeah, Sunita ji, Radhe Radhe.
Radhe Radhe.
Radhe Radhe. Dattavyam iti yaddanam diyate nupakarine dese kale cha patre cha taddanam satvikam smritam.
Wonderful. Radhe Radhe. All right, so let's get started. Like I said, it's a very important concept we picked up from chapter 18 and chapter 17. This is what we're going to discuss today and probably a couple of other days. And make sure all the questions that you have related to this concept, they get addressed, because we are going to spend good amount of time on this shloka. Anything and everything that actually is a blind spot for you related to this concept, let's get this addressed. It's a very important concept. All right. So this shloka says that charity given to a worthy person simply because it is right to give without consideration of anything in return at the proper time and in the proper place is stated to be in the mode of goodness. So this is mode of goodness. We'll go a little bit into that as well as the concept of charity, and then we will get into the different modes over the next couple of days. So let's get started on this concept. Now, to start off with, what do the scriptures talk about charity? Let's directly get into the philosophy. The Bhavishya Puran states, Danamekam Kalau Yuge. Ramayana states, as you can see, I'm not going to recite it, but let's go directly to the meaning. So there are threefold divisions of Dan or charity. Okay, they are being discussed starting with the mode of goodness. It is an act of duty to give according to one's capacity. Okay, that is the key thing. Now, dharma, as explained in Bhagavad, it has 4 basic tenets, and one which is the most important in the age of Kali, We are in the age of Kali Yug. It is charity, and giving charity by whatever means possible. It is called Yuga Dharma, the dharma of this yuga as well. Right? There are different, like for example, in Treta Yuga, one of the biggest dharmas in Treta Yuga was to do yajnas. In Kali Yuga, the biggest yuga dharma that has been told to us by the scriptures is charity. Do charity in whatever means you possibly can. Okay, that is what it says. So let's go a little deeper. So we spoke about these three jails: the luxury jail, not so luxury jail, and the jail which is, kind of a little troublesome jail. So celestial abodes is called the luxury jail or the golden shackles. That is the first one. The second one is the other end, which is called nether regions, the hellish abodes. Yes, Sunita ji had a question.
Yeah,
Yes,
Sorry, I tried to lower down and I think it went off. Sorry.
No worries. All right. So second one is nether regions, which is the hellish abodes. And the third one is the Mrityulok, right? Which we are enjoying the hospitality. All of us are. So this is the Mrityulok. These are the three lokas. Now for all the three lokas, Brahmaji, our four-headed Brahmaji, he was asked by Brihaspati to give some injunction. Okay, if he were to give one injunction to people on all the three lokas, what would that be? Okay, so just think of it, Brahmaji, who is created, who is the creator. Now, if somebody is to ask, you have created pretty much everything that is there to be known in the material world. Like there's a Brahmaji for every universe. So he's talking about his universe. Now, what somebody has created, and you were to give one nugget to them, just one nugget, what would that be? Okay, for the entire material creation. So Brahmaji said, this whole creation, it can be divided in three lokas, like we are seeing the upper regions, the middle region, and the nether regions that we have. He said, the. Okay, it's not the. He said the, and the. So then he said, what is this the? So then Brahmaji goes on to expound on this topic. He says, I just have this one injunction. It starts with the, and the for all three. So then he asks, what is this the means? So starting with celestial abodes, he said Dhamma, restraint. Just restrain your senses, because the possibility of enjoyment, bhog, any kind of bhog that you can think of, is many folds. We can't even imagine, right? The other day we saw what Garuda Puran talks about, the king of this universe. If that is one unit, which lokas all the way up to Brahmalok it goes. Similarly, in celestial abodes, you can just enjoy anything to any extent. Absolutely no limit. So Brahmaji said, Dham, restraint. That would be my injunction or the golden words for them. That is the first one. Then the second one, okay, let me skip to the third one, is nether regions. He said Daya, mercy. Why? Because people with the criminal mindsets, sadistic mindsets, and who have done a lot of bad deeds, they go to these kind of regions, and they actually derive pleasure by tormenting others. Okay, I'm not happy, but if I see you more unhappy, that means I am happy. So that is the second the. So the first the is Dhamma, because they are just enjoying, the meritorious deeds that they have accrued. So Brahmaji said that is fine, but still restrain yourself. It is not good to keep on hankering for more and more. So restrain yourself. For the nether regions, he said, restrain, daya, mercy, have some mercy, develop some compassion, because you have turned into animalistic instincts where you are actually entertaining yourself by troubling others and even killing others. So for the sake of entertainment, they can kill people there. That is how bad the nether regions are. And then let's come to our the place where we are enjoying the hospitality of Brahmaji, which is called Mrityulok. Mrityulok, he said, Dan, charity. Okay, and that is the topic we have picked up from chapter 17 and chapter 18 today. He said, Dan, charity is the biggest injunction, because from our own experience and from seeing things around and from looking at what people associate most value to or what they find most difficult to part with is money. That is a fact of life. Very few people actually conquer the letting go of that part, but we are deeply attached to money, okay, because it gives us security, and we think this is something that will buy us happiness or indirect happiness, at least, things that we need in life, which is how we associate a lot of value to it. So Brahmaji's injunction for people on Mrityulok was charity, the third the. And this is a very, very, very important concept. Okay, now, why charity? Why does God need anything from us to begin with, and all that concept? So that's why I'm saying we are going to go really deep into this topic, and any question that comes to your mind, please bring it to these sessions. It's important we have a good understanding around this concept, so that we can derive the maximum benefit out of it. So let's move on.
Shri Ramya ji has raised hand.
Yes, Shri Ramya ji.
Radhe Radhe Ramya ji.
Yes, Shri Ramya
Radhe
ji.
Radhe. I wanted to know what's the difference between charity and sacrifice. Shloka mentioned charity, sacrifice, right? That's Shloka we read. What's the difference between charity and sacrifice?
In fact, the charity is also a form of a sacrifice if you look at it, right? But charity is typically parting with something which is valuable to you. Okay. Now, what is valuable to you? You only need to look at somebody's credit card statements to know what is valuable to them. Okay. This is how it goes. So anything that we hold value for ourselves, which is typically money, when we start parting, that is called charity. And that is for the larger good. Now let's continue. Let's reserve our comments and questions for a little later before we complete our theory for the day, and then we will get into the questions, because I have some interesting discussion lined up today as well. Now let's move on further into this concept. So charity is what we are going to discuss, because we are in Mrityulok, whether we like it or not. We are not in Swarglok for sure, and it's our extreme good luck that we are not in the nether regions. So this is the injunction given by Brahmaji to us, and this is what we will focus on in this week as well. This the from Mrityulok. And why charity? He could have said anything. He could have said, Dam, restrain your senses. We always talk about mind and senses, right? That is troubling us. Buddhism said that desire is the thing that you need to conquer. He could have said, restrain your mind. Why did he pick up charity out of everything? This the for us, right? And he picked up daya and dam for the other two abodes. So let's go deeper. Now, what does this act of charity bestow actually upon us? Okay, let's look at some of the benefits that our scriptures tell us it gives us. The first one that it gives us is it reduces the attachment of the giver toward the material objects. If you've ever given, you will realize there's a freedom your mind will enjoy. It happens. Okay, first time might be difficult, but it happens. And it is said, scriptures say, even the Bible says, to whom much is given, much is expected as well. Just like Spider-Man movie, right? With great power comes great responsibility. So it actually works on ourselves. And I'm sure a lot of you would have experienced it when you let go of something, the kind of liberation, and you cut a corner in your mind. Something happens. You can experience it yourself whenever you have done that. The second aspect of it is the service. It develops the attitude of service, because now most of our acts in this life are centered around what is in it for me. How can I gain something out of it, right? It's our benefit at the core of pretty much everything that we do. And it can come in different, what do you call that? Different forms actually, just to tell you. But end of the day, what is in it for me is a dominant emotion for anything and everything we do. But when we do it as an act of service, something changes in us, and that something that changes is big actually. That can actually take us lifetimes and lifetimes to bring about that change. So that attitude of service is a de facto attitude that we acquire when we start giving. And the third one, amongst many, of course, it expands the heart. You're increasing your bubble, not just limiting it to yourself or holding it for yourself. And that fosters the sentiment of compassion for others as well. So these are some of the benefits that scriptures tell us actually that you do when you do charity. You can actually experience those as well. Now, not too long ago, we did the 6 aspects of surrender also, if you remember. So if I were to pull those 6 things, which aspect can you map the aspect of charity or the concept of charity with? Anybody? You can raise your hand. Anybody remembers that? It's exam time, okay? No more. Let's see who can map it. All right. Yes. Sandhya, you can call somebody or you can call yourself as well. Okay. So choice is yours.
Ashutosh ji, Radhe Radhe.
Yeah. Please go
Radhe
ahead.
Radhe.
Yes, Ashutosh ji.
I think that to see everything we possess are belonging to God.
Okay. All right. Let's hear from others as well, quickly.
Preeti ji.
Yes, Preeti ji.
Yeah. It is number 4, number 5, and number 6.
True, Preeti ji. You are thinking really deep ahead. Ashutosh ji won the $1 million question. You got the bonus $2 million along with it. Yeah, that's true actually. So yeah, let's hear from others as well. What do they have to say?
Sam ji, Radhe Radhe.
Radhe Radhe ji.
Radhe Radhe Sam ji.
Number 6, to give up the pride of having surrendered.
Yes, very true. They're all related concepts. Yes, anybody else who wanted to add?
Pragya ji, Radhe Radhe.
Radhe Radhe, Nitin and Sandhya and everyone. Yeah, beautiful topic. I think 1, 3, 4, 5, 6, giving, desiring in accordance with the desire of the God. Hamara kya hai? What do we possess and what do we take the pride in giving? And even if we give everything, which of course that is a very elevated state, a firm faith in God that He's protecting us. And scriptures also say, जब आप देते हैं तो भगवान उसका दुगना चौगुना करके वापस करते हैं. So you know that faith is very important. Faith in the cause, faith in giving or sharing, or you know, if we come to the social principles of history, socialism also, that is also like sharing in the society. Yeah.
Beautiful. No, beautiful point. Yes, I think all of you got it right. We'll continue. I think preserve yourself for another interesting discussion. All of you got it right. Okay. And then like when celebrities come to Kaun Banega Crorepati, right? Whatever they win, they have to donate. So I take all the money that you have, won. So beautiful answers. Great point. Yes, actually all the concepts, but if I were to single out for whatever reason, basically see everything as belonging to God, right? So, but all the concepts are right actually. You're actually aligning to God's will. He wants us to not just hold for ourselves and things like that. So pretty much all the principles do apply. It is actually part of surrender itself. Now let's get into a story, okay? And this is where I want to have a bit of a discussion today. Now there's a beggar, okay? Deja vu, feeling of deja vu, hopefully not for a lot of them. So there's a beggar who's roaming around. Obviously he's troubled for the reasons that we all know. And as the luck would have it, this beggar meets a billionaire. Okay, it's his lucky day and he meets a billionaire. Now, when he meets the billionaire, he says that I need help. Can you believe the question that he's asking? I need help. Now, the billionaire says, sure, I'll give you all that you need to make a living, right? So it's his lucky day today. However, like we know, there are no free lunches. Swamiji always uses that term, right? There are no free lunches. So billionaire says, okay, I just twist in the tail here. He says that let's make a deal. I'll give you all that you need to set up your business, make a living and whatever you want. But let's make a 90-10 deal. Okay, 90-10 deal. And 90 is for whom? The beggar. And 10 is for him. Now, if you were that bigger, would you take this deal? Why or why not? Let's get that discussion going. Let's say you're a beggar. You meet a billionaire. It's your lucky day, of course. And billionaire says, all right, I'll give you whatever you want. You want to set up a business? You want to get a good house, car, wife, whatever you want. I'm going to give you all that you need to make a good living. But let's cut a deal, 90-10 deal. Okay, and 90%, beggar thought 90 he's going to keep, 10 he's asking for me. He said, no, 90 you keep, just give me 10% out of it. Now, if you were that beggar, would you latch on to that deal? Why or why not? Let's get this discussion going.
Surinderji, Radhe Radhe.
Yes, Surendraji.
Radhe, I wanted to add to what we were discussing earlier. मेरा मुझ में कुछ नहीं, जो कुछ है सो तोड़. That is how it summarizes the charity and surrender. Surrender and charity means it establishes that you are a owner. Unless you are the owner, you can't charity.
Very true. Yes, very true. We are trustees, not the owners, actually, if you look at it.
That's correct.
Beautiful point, Surendraji, like always.
Radhe Radhe.
Radhe.
Radhe Radhe.
Yes.
Preeti ji, Radhe Radhe.
Radhe Radhe, Preeti ji.
I would surely take that deal.
You would? Sorry?
I would take that. If I'm a beggar and if I'm getting 90% and I have to give 10%, I'll take that deal.
You'll take that deal. And why would you take that?
I said number 4, number 5, and number 6. Okay. The laws of surrender.
Beautiful. All right. You'll take that deal.
Actually, Nitinji, I want to add to it. Like sure. Whenever, just 30 seconds more, not longer. Sure. Whenever we give, it's not because the other person needs it, we give. It's for me that I give. I get peace out of that, which is very important for me. I get happiness out of that, which is again very important for me. I give for myself. I don't give it because I have it or because the other one needs it or because the other one is asking it. I do it for myself. Whether I give time, I give food, money, whether I teach, whatever I do because I want to do it. At the end of the day, I am happy. My hands are full. Radhe Radhe.
Beautiful. And this is a great universal principle, actually, PTG. I think you bring in a very interesting point. People who give their time, money, in whatever way, when they do seva, what they get in return is something to be experienced. You can't articulate it in word, right? And that is how the universe is designed. God has designed it. When you start giving, what you get in return is something you can't explain, actually. And it happens, but you just have to experience it, right? Beautiful point. Okay, you will take the deal, okay, which is a no-brainer, I guess, right? Let's hear from somebody else. Anybody who wants to refuse the deal or wants to add to the reason why they would take the deal?
Shachi ji, Radhe Radhe.
Radhe.
Radhe Radhe, Nitinji. To me, beggar is like us, that when we were born, we didn't bring anything with us. Whatever we got it in this world due to the grace of God. So to me, the billionaire is God, and he is giving us the deal. I'm giving you everything. Only I want in return 10%. And still we have a hard time doing that. So this is my perception of this story.
Beautiful, Shashiji. I think you're thinking 2 or 3 steps ahead, which is wonderful. Beautiful. We'll come back to that. Thank you so much for your insights into that. Let's hear from Shamji, Padmaji, and Khushji. Khushji, I think you're talking for the first time. So let's hear from you first.
Khushji, Radhe Radhe.
Radhe Radhe. So I will take the deal because I think that's once in a lifetime opportunity where somebody gives you something to make of yourself in the time you're living here to do more seva work and to do what your life purpose is and to contribute, so it frees you to do basically God's work and what is also close to your heart. And I think it's all a win-win situation.
Win-win, super win. Yeah, very true. Khushji, where are you joining us from?
San Jose, California.
Okay. Good to hear from you. And thank you for turning on your camera.
Thank you. Yeah. I'm trying to work the electronics here.
We'd love to hear from you more often. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right, I can see Manishi turning on his camera. Some new faces, so let's hear from Manishi.
Radhe Radhe Manishi.
Radhe Manishi.
Radhe Radhe.
Radhe
Can
Radhe.
you hear me?
Yes, where are you joining us from, Manishi?
I'm joining from Hawthorne, California, so by LAX in Los Angeles.
Okay. Good to see you, Manishi.
Yeah, so I would definitely take this deal because as a beggar, you when you're here in human life, you have to have a livelihood. So as a beggar, you're not really able to do anything. But if somebody is willing to, my question would be: is the billionaire willing to teach us how to do something, or is he just giving us the money? That's the difference. Because if he can teach, if he's teaching, willing to teach, then you know how to do it. And once you know how to be successful, you can help a lot of people, other people to be successful. And the idea of us being here is to help each other, and so that nobody's poor.
Sure, I will take that question as well. Is billionaire is willing to teach us as well? Sure.
Yeah.
They say, right, it's better to teach somebody to catch fish rather than giving them a fish, right?
Exactly.
Billionaire is very smart billionaire. Okay, we'll come back. Great point.
So yes, in that case, yeah. So that's why I would take the deal, because it would give me opportunity to learn and also be able to help others. Because if I don't have anything, then I can't help anybody else.
Wonderful
if I'm
point.
begging every day, I can't really do anything for anybody else.
That's a beautiful point. Wonderful.
So Radhe.
And thank you for turning on your camera and for providing your insights. So very nice. Let's hear from the other participants. I can see quite a few hands real quick, and then we'll get into that.
Yeah, Padmaji, Radhe Radhe.
Padmaji, Radhe Radhe.
So either if it is 90-10 or 10-90, it truly depends on where the beggar is, the mindset that they're in. You might come across people in life that they're not willing to let go of what their dharma is at any cost. They're not willing to be bought up by money. They're not willing to be bought up by anything. You will find some people that truly believe that that has a higher purpose in life. And when they experience that purpose, they're not going to let go of the dharma, and they're not going to let go. They're not up for sale. So, but if you don't have that mindset, then you will come to a crossroads and you will have growing pains. But if your mindset is set spiritually, even if you take that 90% from the billionaire, immediately what will happen is you would try to find resources and purposes, way to put that 90%, not for self, but somewhere else, and serve that purpose. You will find those people. So I don't want to say that I'm saint, but I'm kind of that mindset that if I have to put on the table money and my dignity and my morals and my values and my dharma, I would go for the later one. Maybe it's just a mindset that you have to grow with, I think, and also experience what is the bliss that you get in that purpose when you serve and you truly make those doorways open in your heart, and you let the God's grace flow in. And when you let those gates out, and when you experience that God's experience, when you actually do it, you don't want to trade that for anything else.
Beautiful points. I think you are actually, God will actually say, okay, you are the perfect beggar I've ever found. Okay, I've been searching for a perfect beggar and you are the one. So beautiful points. Very deep, very, very thoughtful. Thank you so much, Padmaji, for that. I can see some new hands. Ratri ji, I think I saw you turning on your camera. So please go ahead.
Yeah, Ratri ji, Radhe Radhe.
Radhe Radhe. I have joined today only, and so I think that we all are in the position of beggar, and that billionaire is actually God, who has given us everything in life to make a living. Okay, so and in return, I think we should also try to give back to those who are in need, and in that way, we are actually doing some purpose for God, for our love for God. We are serving Him.
Beautiful point. Great point. Ratriji, where are you joining us from?
I'm from West Bengal.
West Bengal. How did you hear about us?
I was just seeing a video of Swamiji, and in the comment section, I saw your link. And
That's nice. I'm glad you made it. We have a wonderful group. So please keep joining and inspire your friends as well. Um, it's a wonderful group that we have. So great point. Let's quickly hear from others and then we get into some philosophical discussion around this concept. So I can see 3 more hands we can take real quick.
There is some chat as well, if I can quickly read that. Like Gunjanji says, I would say business is too risky. I would ask for a job. And
Okay, great point. Yeah, being smart, very true.
yeah, Hetalji says all or nothing.
All or nothing. Wow. I think
And
this perfect, perfect. What do you call that? Person to go to Vegas, all or nothing, right? That's what I've heard there. Great point, all or nothing. Billionaire will say, okay, then thank you very much. Okay.
Yeah. Seemaji says the Netherlands ill jail souls are very difficult words. Schadenfreude, such as Hitler and Putin. Charity is not only money.
Schadenfreude. Okay, Schadenfreude is a very expensive word. Grandiloquent word. Yeah, Schadenfreude. Yeah, very
Yeah,
good.
charity is not only monies. It could be a smile, kindness, time, volunteerism, compassion, prayers, willingness to assist anyone rather than resist genuinely, rather superficially, etc.
And who's given that comment?
Seemaji.
Simaji, we'll come back to that. Simaji, please hold on to that. Okay, we'll come to that. We will answer all the questions related to charity. What is charity? How can we do different types of charities? Some of the stereotypes related to charities. We'll challenge some of the belief system people have around. Everything will cover. So hold on to that. Reserve your. Let's quickly hear from 3 participants and then we'll get into the discussion today.
Yeah, Lakshmi ji, Radhe Radhe.
Yeah, Radhe Radhe, everyone. I accept this deal, and as they said that God gives always choices for us to make our own decision, and I think this is a part of grace of God on that beggar, and God is in the form of the billionaire, and He gives an opportunity or choice to make it, and to show His ability ahead, and to check His attitude towards his outcome, whether it's attached or not, and that his pride increases with the fulfillment of his work, or how does he take the result if it is a failure? How does he react to that? So this is my
Wonderful. So you deal or no deal, you said deal on. So Preeti ji also took the deal. You have also taken the deal. And I think Padma ji also took the deal, but she's okay to do reverse the deal as well, as I understood, maybe not. So let's quickly hear from Shruti and Sri Ramya and then continue with the discussion.
Radhe Radhe, Sri Ramya ji.
Yes, Sri Ramya.
Radhe Radhe. So here I had a question. So 90-10, is it profit-based or revenue-based? Like let's say that beggar's expenses are 100 rupees a day and he's making 10 rupees a day.
So
and
90-10 billion is 90% of whatever you make. Okay.
Okay. In these cases, if his expenses are 100 and if he's getting 10 rupees a day, he would be finding it very difficult to part with that 1 rupee also, because his requirements are still not met.
Wonderful point. Great point. Let's bring it back into our discussion. Great point, Sri Ramya. All right, let's hear from Shruti.
Shruti ji, Radhe Radhe.
Radhe Shruti.
Radhe Radhe, Sandhya, Radhe Radhe, Nathan, and everyone.
Very nice.
I think
today, Shruti, you've been doing some magic behind.
Sorry. Okay, I can't see my background.
Virtual background.
Okay. Yeah, thank you. All right. So I think beggars are not choosers. So definitely I'll take the deal. And if I have the right mindset, then I would pay it forward. Yeah, I'll take the deal and I'll pay it forward. Take it with grace, and however I have got it, I'll bring smile to others. And I've heard this very beautiful quote from Paulo Picasso. It says, true meaning of life is to find your gift, and purpose of life is to give it away. So, yeah. Thank you.
Point. Very, very, very nice. Okay, maybe one more we can take and then we'll get, because I want to get into a bit of a philosophy and then we can continue with this discussion. Maybe one more hand and then we'll come back again after we have completed our discussion.
Yeah, Jonji, Radhe Radhe.
Radhe Radhe, Jonji.
Radhe, Radhe. I said my comments in the, I said my thoughts in the comments, but I'll just quickly say it. I think I would take the deal because I'm thinking about a scripture where it says, whatever you earn, you give 10% in charity. So it might be that the billionaire is actually God in disguise. And he's saying, I'll give you all that you need, but all I ask back is 10%, which might be in keeping with our scriptures. You give back 10% in charity.
Wonderful point.
Just my thought. Just my thought.
Great point. So let's continue with this discussion. So this beggar is none other than us. Okay, feeling of deja vu again. Whenever I bring in a beggar, it's basically referring to us. And we have actually accepted this deal. We cut this deal when we were born. It said that when we are in mother's womb, we actually promised to God, take me out of this place. Give me one more opportunity. And this time I'm going to invest 1/10 of my time. I'll give it to you, right? 24 hours, 2.4 hours, I'll give it to you. 1/10 of my earning, I'll give it to you. And God says, yeah, so be it. And then we keep on forgetting. This is a deal we all have cut with God. That is what our scriptures say. It's not, we are not entitled for human life just like that, every life. So that is why our scriptures say, in fact, in all the traditions, it says 1/10 is required to purify what you earn. Purify your time, give 1/10 to God. Whether it's meditation, satsang, chintan, ekad sadhana, whatever. 1/10 of wealth, it is purification. Because if you don't do that, you will have unprecedented losses, lawsuits, medical bills, it will go away. As scriptures say, 1/10 is needed to purify it. Otherwise, it will get frittered away somewhere. So this is a deal we all have cut with God, as scriptures say. Right? It is a deal where we did not come with anything. He has given us an opportunity to make everything out here and then be able to give 1/10 back, not because he needs it. Does God need? Actually, no, he doesn't. It's just like God is saying, help me, help you, because when you will do it, you will get closer to the principle of sacrifice and get more purified, and you will confront your secret stash. And that is, it is not a coincidence that Brahmaji has given this one injunction. Right? When we spoke about this, the Brahmaji is giving the second the is dan, because he knew that in our lok, Kalyug, and in our lok, people, their secret stash, the most dearly held thing is money. Very difficult to part with. It's a very difficult thing to part with for most of the people. Okay. But with practice and time, it starts getting easier. And the concept is, I'm not sure a lot of you would have experienced it as well. Actually, God doesn't, it's the rule of God is whatever you give him, offer to him with the spirit of sacrifice, he multiplies it and gives it back to you. It works that way. I can tell you 10 number of stories, experience that I have had, experience that my friends have had, unprecedented gains this, happen. It doesn't mean you start becoming greedy. It becomes a formula for you. No. The point is, it happens. This is the law, basically, divine law of God. And it works. It works. It just works like a miracle. But the point here is we have to part with 10% of it. And I think Seemaji brought in a point that charity could be done in, I think, 10 different things she told about. So my question here is, we do this aarti, right? Tan man dharm tera kya lage mera, om jai jagdish hare. Out of tan man dhan, which one do we think is the easiest to give? Anybody who can answer that? Anybody who wants to take this question? Anyways, before I get into that, I wanted to do a stop share for a bit and wanted to share something with you, because it reminds me why did I picked up this topic and what I wanted to share and talk a little bit about it before we go further. So if you attended the retreat that Swamiji was having, he actually threw a gauntlet at us, basically, that let's do a fundraiser, okay? And all of us here at Dallas and across US, we have actually started with this fundraiser, beautiful fundraiser. It's going to be a marathon, basically, span over maybe a couple of years or no. So are you able to see my screen?
No, not right now.
Not right now. Okay, let me share my screen. So basically, the idea here is not that I picked up because I have to take you to this fundraiser. If you're already associated with the cause, that's great. And if you're already associated, you're inspired with Swamiji and making that is great. But this fundraiser is basically for the university education and good things that Swamiji are doing. And he has put a target of 1 million, which is a pretty, we can do only small pieces, from our standpoint. So if you feel inspired, you can actually go there, and there is a donate button here. Last 3 days, and we have been able to raise $2,000, which is pretty significant. And I put a little bit of a stretch target for myself, $11,000. I'm sure it will happen. See, I'll tell you this, even the 1 million, we all are here. You will be surprised to see a few years down the line, you will say, really, it really happened? And I'll say, yeah, it really happened. And I'm 200% sure it's going to happen. And it's just like building that bridge that Ram Bhagwan did. It just happens. I know that. But the point is, if you get chance to participate, so be it. If you feel inspired, you can come here. I can share the link with you, and you go to donate. Here you can donate both in rupees as well as in US dollars if you want to. Either way, and whatever, don't worry about the donation amount. You can put it anonymous if you don't feel comfortable putting that way, and you can do it in rupees as well. And if you want to do directly, that is also fine. If you do it through this link that I'm going to share, it will contribute towards the pledge that I have made of $11,000. If you choose to do it directly, that is fine too. That means God wants me to reach out to more people, which I'll continue to do. So check it out. It's a good way to get associated with a noble cause. But if you're already associated with some cause, that is fine. I'm not saying that you just have to do it here only. The key thing is the charity. That reason we are doing it is it's important to have it as part of our life. Make it a mindset that becomes easier for us. And now Swamiji has given us a platform, so I thought, okay, let me do that. Stretch myself. When I distribute flyers or go out in front of people, sometime asking for a fund, I am actually working on myself as well. Brings in humility. And you confront your stash as well, right? It's not easy to do that actually, but when you do that, it's liberating too. Okay, that's what I've learned. It actually liberates you, And I have heard that Maharaj Ji, when he built Prem Temple, he actually used to go like a beggar in front of everybody and ask, even if you can put 1 rupee, that is fine. Temple is anyway going to get built, but it's just that you get an opportunity, right? Like Ram Bhagwan, the bridge was going to get built, but people got opportunity in that, and that is the concept. Or our scriptures say, it is an opportunity. In fact, charity needs to be looked at as an opportunity or a privilege more than as an obligation. And I've seen people who do charity by crying, okay, I got this opportunity to do that. So anyways, take a look at that. If you feel inspired, you can do that. Like I said, you have an option to donate it directly to JK Yog if you find Swamiji's teachings beneficial, or you can do it on site. It will contribute toward my pledge, and either way is fine. Or if you're already associated with the cause, you have found the purpose that you support, that is fine too. It's not that you have to do it in this one only. So just wanted to bring that up. Now let's get back to the topic again of charity. So I was explaining that this is a deal that we have already cut with God, and we have forgotten. And the second part of it was charity can be done in many forms. Seemaji said, right? So tan, man, dhan, tera, kya lage mera, right? We say that. Now out of tan, man and dhan, which one do we think is the easiest one to give, and why?
Okay, let's start taking questions. I mean,
you can start taking questions, anything related to this topic as well, not necessarily related to this. And I saw, thank you for, quite a few participants. They've come forward and actually donated. I understand some of us want to donate anonymously. It's the intent part of it, and really appreciate a lot of people have done it anonymously. But if you put your name and it inspires others, you look at it as a seva too. Okay, so it's really boils down to intent. But I really salute the people who want to do it anonymously, and I respect that. But if you feel your name is going to inspire others, feel free to do so. Either way is fine. It's the intent that matters, not the act that you do. So I would look at it that way. Yes, let's take some questions now.
Yeah, Shyamji says dhan, and even Hetalji says money is the easier to give away.
Yeah.
Okay.
That is true actually. Dhan is, we say dhan man dhan tera. We cannot get into seva unless we have learned how to part with money. And then man is the last thing that will come. Even in seva, that bhav will be the most purest form that will come. So you start with dhan, you graduate to tan, or dhan tan, can go in parallel. It's not an incremental process. All three can go hand in hand, but the easiest one, stepping stone to parting away, is starting with money. And when you give it, something changes in you. You will realize that. And it is actually therapeutic, I would say, after a while. It can be addicting and it can be therapeutic as well. And there is a very beautiful quotation in English which says, nobody has become poorer by giving charity. Have you heard about somebody who died poor because he gave charity? Nobody does that. That is the rule. That is the beauty of this concept. Anyways, we'll go much deeper into this aspect, because charity also boils down to the intent. Why are you doing it, right? Can I give charity to anywhere and whatever kind of a deal? What if I give charity to somebody and he gets energy and goes on and kills somebody, right? What if I give charity to somebody and he becomes a drug addict? So there are a lot of factors in play, and Gita addresses all of them. And that is what we'll get into in our subsequent shlokas. Any other questions or anything anybody wanted to share?
Yeah, Surinder ji, Radhe Radhe.
Radhe Radhe, Surinder ji.
I think man is the real thing. If one has to donate, doing charity.
Yeah.
If you give away your man, then the other two are materialist things that is easy to follow.
True. If we start with man and if we can perfect it, sure, other two will have to follow. But when we start giving it, directly getting to man usually is a little difficult.
मन होगा तो कुछ देगा, अगर मन ही नहीं होगा तो धन भी नहीं देगा. वो मन तो पहले बनाना पड़ेगा.
मन, हाँ, मन से जूझना पड़ेगा. We have to. Man will never.
I appreciate your link for the donation. Thank you very much.
No worries. I've pasted it for everyone. Just take a look at it if you feel inspired. Like I said, these are some of the things that I've seen. In fact, I remember when this temple was about to get built, I used to wonder, how will this get built in a few years? And I know the costs were like astronomical cost numbers, mind-boggling numbers that you think about. But I actually saw that happening, and not just temple. Now it has expanded to such a beautiful infrastructure. Our CIC building is going to come up. We have a Montessori for kids program in front of our eyes. How is it happening? Swamiji, the other day, he was, somebody was asking him, he was giving a lecture, and somebody was here, you have taken such big sankalpas, building a university, and that university is going to be state-of-the-art university, which will become a foundation for Vedic wisdom. All that we are discussing, you will have people who will be disseminating that. So I asked him, how do you even think about such astronomical figures? How are you going to make it happen? It's such a big sankalp. Don't you worry about where the funds are going to come up? So he started laughing. He said, no. He said, why? He said, my father is sitting, my Bap is sitting there, he'll take care of it. So that is his attitude, and it happens, trust me. In fact, he tells a story, beautiful story, that during his initial prachar days, he went to Singapore. And Maharajji told him, you're going, you need to bring in, he gave him some amount, okay, maybe 51 lakhs or something like this much we would need for this project, you need to get that. And he was like, okay, how's it going to happen? Okay, he was always thinking about that, because it was his initial days. And every day he will give his discourse and put those dakshina patras that somebody will give, and he'll get some, $5, $10, $1. And he was said, okay, baby Maharajji, something has to happen, so it will happen. He continued doing that. On the 7th day, somebody came and gave him exactly the same amount that he had asked for last day. Exactly the same amount, not a single penny more. Only thing that God checks is your intent. Things will happen. Things are meant to happen. The Kuber, who are actually the gods of wealth, they have a tie-up with them. Things are meant to happen. That is how gods and gurus work get done, right? It's our fortune to participate in it, whether we give 1 rupee, 5 rupees, $2, $3, whatever, things will happen. That is my extreme. I have seen so many examples and see that happen. That is why something like this comes up. Now it's like, I know it's going to happen and I'll see it happening. But whatever little we can do that in that case. Yes, let's hear from other participants.
Yeah, Rahul ji, Radhe Radhe.
Radhe Radhe, Rahul, please go ahead.
I think Maharaj ji has mentioned in some of the discourses that the Dan Patra is very important, and then Dan should not be out, that it should be given in anonymously, so that I understand your point that some people might be getting inspired if we put our name, but I think the intent is important, and if we can provide it anonymously, that is the best thing and the best intent.
Yes, in fact, Dan, it is said that your right hand should not know if left is giving. That is how and that is the topmost dan for sure, right? But as Guru Seva, sometimes Guru can tell you to do that, right? It may propel 10 other people who are very competitive in life. Just by seeing you, it can inspire them. So then you have to let go of that as well, just because you're Guru. So that is what I've seen. But yes, you are very right. Dan should be gupt. In fact, it is a beautiful, humorous joke around this. There's a guy. So he put his dan. Everybody was putting checks, and he also goes and puts his check. And in his check, he puts $1 million and he gives it. Okay. And when the Guruji opens it, he looks at the check, but there's no signature down below. So he said, you haven't signed it. He said, it's a Gupta Dan. So anyways, not that kind of a Gupta Dan, but yes, when we give Dan, typically we should not take credit for it, and we should keep it secret as much as possible. That intent matters, and that is the topmost Dan. That is how it's not to be. Very true. Okay, let's hear. I can see a couple of hands.
Yeah, Champaji, Radhe Radhe.
Radhe Radhe, Champaji.
Radhe Radhe, very beautiful topic, Nitinji. What I want to say here is, only in Kali Yuga you have this opportunity to do this kind of dan. For example, building a temple or like Swamiji's project, university, Rajas and Maharajas used to do it, And actually, Swamiji or anybody with the will of God, they don't need our contribution. They're just giving us an opportunity to be a part of such a huge project, We should always take it like that. It's just, Krishna doesn't need our money. If he wants, he can build 100 temples or 200 universities.
Yep.
As Swamiji says, there is always a way, if it has to happen, it will happen. But the thing is, they are giving us opportunity to be a part of such a big project. So we should be very grateful.
Very true.
Very nice discussion. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, and I have met somebody, Satsangi. I can't tell you. I mean, earlier I never used to appreciate or understand these deep concepts. I met somebody. I'll not name that person. She told me that when she met Maharajji actually in person. So, and like we all do, right? Koi seva ho hamare like, if there is anything we can do, please let us know. So she said that to him at that time. Must have been in 80s or 90s, I believe. 90s probably. And the moment she said that, Maharajji turned back and said, okay, can you get me 50 lakhs? Directly he said that. The moment she heard that, there was just a slight hesitation. And he said, okay, let's move on, next party. And till day she regrets that anything she could have done to do that. She regrets even till this day. I don't know why. So I can understand and appreciate why. And even just after a fraction of a second, he said, okay, let's move on. He just saw that slight hesitation. So that is, people understand, if you get that opportunity, how huge it is. But yes, it has to be a saint and it has to go for a good cause. There's a lot of process that goes behind that before you get to that stage. It's not like anybody asks and you start doing that. And that is your personal journey. And you need to respect that and get to a state where you start feeling that much motivated. Okay, so that is something you will have. That's our own game and our own journey with that regards. But I'm telling you, if you reach that stage, don't forfeit the opportunity to give away. And there is a bigger concept around it as well. It is future proofing your next lives as well. It's like an insurance policy for yourself in next lives, not only in this life, but in next lives as well. Because when we get an opportunity, it's not often that we get that, right? So if we want at least not be struggling for the basic things in life, like it happens, this is something we should do when we are in a position to do so. It's like building or putting an insurance policy for ourselves only, because God doesn't need that. He just wants to purify us and checks our intent. So from that standpoint also, it is important. It's like you are putting a vessel for yourself only as and when you are born as a human, and not have to struggle for it then at that point. Okay, let's hear from a couple of people.
Padmaji, Radhe Radhe.
Radhe Radhe. I just wanted to add, like, I didn't know how to say it, but so I just wrote like in 3 sentences. Like when I think about myself, don't punish yourself if you're not there. Don't punish yourself watching somebody who is there. Okay, don't punish yourself, because God, I don't think God wants you to punish for where you are right now and where you want to go and where somebody else is. That's not by comparisons, right? Be yourself, but be genuine to yourself and try, right? Give yourself an opportunity to try something which you have never tried. Take the baby steps, right? And in my own experience, if I have to articulate this, what it does to me, right? It is when you give, whatever that is, right? It is action of repentance, action of saying, and it pierces through the layers of ignorance that we have through the life, and whatever those bondages and attachments that we build around our mind and perception and desires. When you dare those layers, and when you take that conviction and you do some small baby step, what it really does to you is pierces through those layers of ignorance, and it gives you that courage that you want to keep trying that more and more. That is number one thing. And second thing is, if you let your life lead by spiritual sentiments, living becomes that true essence of life, and you experience more of who you really are truly. So give yourself that opportunity, but not by force, but by compassion and empathy. And then giving is a precursor. That is something much more beautiful, which you can get rather than giving it to somebody else. And the last thing that I wanted to say was, find those opportunities. Every day we will come across opportunities. We might not be able to serve every opportunities, but find those small opportunities when you're giving the right thing to the right person at the right time, and try not to expect anything. I know that is the last part, like we always struggle. Maybe there is something out of it, but when you try, he's going to give you that courage and conviction, and that becomes your inner nature. But not give when you forcefully want to show that you have given something, but give when you really can give. Stretch yourself and just do a small baby step and give the right thing to the right person at the right time. That really means something for the person, but not when you decide that you want to do that for the other person.
Beautiful point, Padmaji. And that's what we are going to discuss, the different kinds of charity over the next couple of days. Charity also has a lot of types. Okay. And Lord Krishna has explained that beautifully. That's what we're going to discuss about as well. I see Arnima today.
Yeah.
That's
Arnima ji, Radhe Radhe.
Radhe Radhe. Thank you, Sandhya. So Radhe Radhe Nitin ji, I just want to add one point.
Before you speak, may I ask you a question?
Yeah, sure.
You put our little one to sleep as yet?
Yes. Yes, but as I was able to attend this session, and there was an interesting discussion going on about being anonymous and giving your names. I just want to add one point that when we start the charity, even if we are giving anonymous, that this is really an internal thing. Internally, we know that we have given charity, and when we try to we are working under our guru, and even if we are trying to inspire others, a point comes, or a realization comes, where it really goes away from your heart. Your name comes or your name doesn't come, it really doesn't matter. So that's just a realization I wanted to share, that it is really an internal thing rather than going through that whether our name is coming, our name is not coming. Just wanted to share that point.
Very deep, Arnima. So not sure why she doesn't come to our sessions. If she starts speaking, nobody would like to hear to me. So okay, great point. Very true. So beyond a point, it doesn't matter. It should not. It doesn't matter whether your name is coming or not. But it's a pretty advanced stage, right? So you can get sucked into the trap of taking credit or feeling good about it. So we have to decompose layer by layer of those things. But yes, Guptan is the topmost. But yes, if you can get to a state where it doesn't really matter, actually, it's just an act that you're doing for a bigger purpose, and that purpose is all that matters to you, nothing else. That is the state that needs to be in. But it's a huge privilege and opportunity, I would say. And it is therapeutic. Okay, I'll bring in some biggest philanthropist, what they had to say about it. It's a pretty interesting concept. And then, like Padmaji said, first we have to meet ends in life, but then when we start making intent, God enables it somehow for us. But building that mindset or a habit or a nature is a great asset to have. And the early on we start building it, the better it is for us to have. It's very difficult for people to part money, especially when they grow old, especially when most of their life they have spent holding or worrying about things or thinking of it as a security. So it's good to part and feel that freedom as well. Great. Any other questions or topics, or we are good? Yes.
Seemaji has raised hand, and then we had announcements also. So.
Oh yes, we have announcements too. Please go ahead. We have CIC inauguration coming up, by the way. So all the CIC classes that we are doing, we have a beautiful building coming up. It's going to get inaugurated. Swamiji is going to be here as well. It's going to be a great event. So yes, and let's hear from Seemaji, and then you can do the announcements.
Yeah.
Please fill out the feedback tracker as well in the meantime, please.
Yeah, please fill out the feedback tracker. I've posted the link for the same. Yeah. Seemaji, Radhe Radhe.
Radhe Radhe, everyone. Sometimes there are requests from everyone, so one has to just kind of distribute.
In that case, you have to do eeny, meeny, miny, mo, Seemaji, because no matter which route it takes, it will go to the final destination, JKO. That's why I said, if you're directly giving or if you're approached by multiple people, because a lot of people have started creating a fundraiser, right? Please feel free. Don't feel obligated anywhere, because it will go to JKO only, right? Same destination. If you do it through a particular link like my fundraiser, it helps meet my pledge. If it doesn't, then I have to find more, which is good, right? God is giving you more opportunity. So you pick whichever you want and then go with that, because eventually it will go to Swamiji's cause only, and all the roads will lead to Rome. That is perfectly all right.
That's not what I was going to say.
Oh, sorry about that. I jumped the gun. Okay, go ahead.
It's not just JKO. I donate to several other charities, mostly spiritual ones, other temples, Vedanta societies, and so on. So I have a budget, yearly budget, and that's how I go. And again, like I said in my note to Sandhya, that it's not just money that we can donate. I started out with my time, volunteerism in various aspects of life, A through Z.
Yep.
And then the monies, and then sometimes the one's expertise in knowledge of benefiting and doing business deals by talking to the bankers, by lowering just 0.5% of interest rate, that can add up to a lot of money.
Sure.
That is also there. There's a whole lot of creative ways of doing charities. So
true, beautiful point, Seemaji.
Starting India Festival, which brought in a lot of business, happiness to people. Yeah, it doesn't have to be money. It can bring happiness.
Point taken. Very true.
Harmony. So there's a whole lot of definition of charity. Thank you.
It's not just to money, very sure. Tan, man, dhan, all aspects. If you cannot have, you can spend your time, you can be part of the seva. There are so many avenues. You can get as creative as you want. If you have a particular skill, that is why we keep on asking for seva opportunities. And soon you'll be very happy to tell you that we have some very talented people here working on our Instagram page as well. So we'll talk about that as well. So yeah, seva could come in any form where you are giving your time, your skills, your thought, could be writing, in any way that we give. It's called seva. Great point. Yes, Sham, real quick, and then I know we are over time and Sandhya is already counting her reverse counting. So
yeah, Sham.
Yeah. I want to share my experience that initially in my earlier days, I used to seva, like charity. Can you hear me?
Yeah, yes. Now we can.
I'm audible?
Yes, yes.
Yeah. So I initially always thought that seva, like giving charity to people, was let me have my house first, my expenses first. Then if I have leftover, let me enjoy my life. And if I have something, I'll donate wherever, maybe temple or wherever I can think. But of lately, for the past 7-8 years, things have really changed. And for the past year, it's really changed. And since for the past 3 days, it has changed more. And my mindset says now, charity is like any other thing for me. As way I'm doing princess on myself, my family, my body. This is also part of me. No matter how much I earn, I don't earn, I have to dedicate a certain amount, maybe not 1/10, but whatever I can think is feasible for me at this point of time. I should, I will not say I will, I should do it. And then let's see how things go. Because as I said that initially, I always see that let me see my life first, my family first. But now the mindset has changed, maybe because of passage of time or attending these classes or whatever I can say. But I feel is that we should take it as a part of an expense and do charity rather than saying let me earn first and then do it. That's my point. Radhe Radhe.
Beautiful point. So if you have 4 kids, consider God as your 5th kid, okay, that you have to spend on. If you have 3, consider it as 4th. If you have 2, consider. If you have none, consider as your child. So make it non-negotiable part of your life. I think that's how we need to. It's more of a commitment than anything else. And in fact, in Mormonism, people, they directly deposit 10% of their charity directly to the church. You know that? It's only in us that people have to actually go out. They are so structured and methodical about it. And their church, the commandment that they have is earn all that you can so that you can give all that you can. And 10% of their salary directly gets deposited in their church. Mormonism, if you ask me, I have a lot of those friends and they have no qualms about it. That's how systematic they are. So something to learn from, basically. Great point, Shamji. Thank you for sharing your experience.
Samji, if you can be really quick, Radhe Radhe.
Samji, if you can be
Radhe Radhe. Well, a very useful and interesting discussion we are doing in the charity thing. I want to ask you a question like, if I want to send you and Ajit and maybe a couple of others situations, can I send it from my charitable foundation? Because like I said in the Steam membership and others also, and I sent it to JKU, your secretary. So how is that can be linked to you?
I don't understand, to be honest. All I know is if you go to my link and click on donate, that's how you can do that. But can you link it or not? I'm sorry, I don't know that.
No, I think in the past I have sent it, and I sent an email to Secretary of JKU, and I think they linked it.
Continue to do that. I think that will also get directed to Swamiji only. But
I want to attach whatever X amount to you, Y amount to somebody else, like that. So I think there should be a way to link it so that it goes to your credit, not real credit, but somehow it count towards your collection things.
We have a target. No worries. I'll check it out if there's a way to do that. But if you're doing, you don't think too much about it. Just
no. I want to do it, but my point is ask them how my previous money has come to you, JKU, that thing, and the same. If the pattern is okay, then they will okay to you, and you can convey it to me. Thank you.
Sure. Thank you, Samji. Appreciate your noble gesture around it. I'll try to figure it out if there's a way, but thank you so much for that. Over to you, Sandhya, for the quick announcements. And I know we are late, so we can do our closing prayers now.
Okay. Yeah, announcements. We have, this is Navratri week going on. So we have Mata Ki Chauki and Ram Navami celebrations at the temple during this weekend. So whoever is around, please feel free to come and enjoy. And it's also available online, so everyone can make use of it. And then we have the camp in June 24th onwards. So please register for it. I think 12th of April is the last date for early bird offer. So please make use of it. I've posted the links for both of them. And then yes, CIC inauguration, which Nitinji have already told us about. So I'm also excited about that. Yeah. And feedback tracker link is posted. So please put in your comments, feedback, questions, whatever you have on that. Yeah.
All right, we can do the closing prayers. Thank you for a very engaging discussion. We will go a little more deeper into this topic over the next couple of days. Let's do our closing prayers. Who wants to take initiative today?
Shamji.
Yes, Shamji, please go ahead.
Radhe Radhe. Om Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinah Sarve Santu Niramaya सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु मा कश्चित् दुःखभाग् भवेत्. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Radhe Radhe.
Radhe Radhe. Thank you.
Radhe. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, everybody. And Radhe Radhe. I look forward to seeing you tomorrow. Good night and have a good day. Thank you very much.
Radhe Radhe.